Welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs, and we are continuing with our St. Patrick's Day sweater vest, and today we are going to make a 4-leaf clover, as you could see, the 4-leaf clover. So we're going to make this using the same technique as we did the shamrock last week. So this is my chart that I'm using, my graph, and we are, and I also have my yarns all separated. And last week we used this big needle. But I wanted to show you that if you're doing a project this small, you don't need a huge needle. You can use the regular crochet needle. So we are going to use the K hook. This is the K hook. And sometimes it's easier just to use a smaller needle for a smaller project. So we are going to start out by making a slip knot. And we are going to crochet or chain 21. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right. So we're going to start out in the very first loop. We're going to start picking up loops. And I always use my back humps to pick up loops. So the humps are in the back of the chain. This is the front of the chain. And I always use the back. I feel like you're far away. You can't. Let me get you closer, so you could see. There we go. Alright, so I'm picking up the back loops of the chain and pulling up loops. And of course, when you do that, you leave them on the hook when we're doing Tunisian crochet, which is what we're doing right now. So we're going to pick up the back loops. Put my glasses on. Yeah, that's better. All right. All right. And once you get done, you should have 22 loops on your hook. So we are going to count these. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. Okay. I'm going to make sure you can see what I'm doing. There we go. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the first loop, just one, and then we're going to get our yarn. We're going to work these off and go through 2 and go through 2 all the way across. And this here is our first row. So that's the first row. Our chart says that we need 3 rows of this color. So we're going to, the next thing we do is we're going to pick up, you're going to skip this first one because this is our first loop, right? So we're going to pick up these bars that are going up and down, and the second bar, we're going to go under the second bar and pick up a loop. So you go under the second bar, or go under every bar then, and pick up a loop. So, going underneath each of these bars. And then at the end here, you're going to go through these 2. Make sure you go through 2 at the end. And make sure you pick up that loop. And you should have 22 loops on the hook. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Wait a minute. 2, 4. Hope I didn't miss one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Did I miss one? Yes, I did. I missed this one, this last one right there. Alright, see, it's always good to count. And then go through those last 2. There. Yeah, I have to make sure that you didn't miss one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. And then you go through the first one, and then we're going to go through two loops all the way down. And there we are. Second row done. One more row of this. So we're going to go underneath the second, starting at the second bar, and pick up loops. So I'm just going to go quicker at this row and get this row done. 2, 8, all right, we'll get them taken off here. Now if that is too far in, or there we go. All right. Okay, 3 rows. So now this is where we start with put our colors in. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of this light green. So let's pick up 6. There's 1. This loop on the hook is not going to count. I mean, it'll count in the end, but we're going to, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to bring in our dark green. And I'm going to go in here and pull this out like this. All right, and then we need 3 loops of the dark green. And then we're going to pull out another light green. And finish off the rest of it with the light green. So go back, keep going across. I want to take this light green and dark green, and I'm going to tie them together. Before I go too much further. There. There. Alright. Now we're going to finish pulling up loops with the light green. And then getting that last loop at the end. Alright. Now we should have 22. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18, 22. Yep, we got 22. Alright, so go through 1 loop, and then we're going to go through 2 all the way across to get them worked off of the hook. And then we're going to pick up our dark green, and we're going to work off those dark green loops. And then we're going to pick up our light green on here and work off the rest of the loops. And kind of pull them. There we go. Alright, we've got that row done. And now we have to, our next one is we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to have 8 in the light green, right? We need 8 loops. So we're not counting this loop on this. Only the color. When we're changing color, we're not counting those outside loops. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to pick up a couple of these. 7 and 8. And now we need 2 dark green. So there's 1 and 2. And then we're going to finish off with the light green. So we go all the way across with the light green. And those last 2. There we go. So we're going to go through 1 loop. Let's work these off. Well, hang on. First of all, we better count and make sure we got 22 on there. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. Yes. Work off 1 loop. And now we're going to work off 2 loops all the way across. Until we get to the dark green, and we've got to switch colors. So bring the dark green through and work off those 2 loops. And 2. There we go. And now we're back to the light green again. And we're going to work off 2 loops all the way across the rest of the way. And we've got that row. Alright, so our next row is, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 light greens. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now I need 2 dark greens. So I'm going to drop the green, the light green, and pick up the dark green and pull up 2 dark greens from the next 2 loops, next 2 bars. Now we're going back to the light green again, and we are going to pull up the bars the rest of the way across. I think the 4-leaf clover was a little bit easier than the shamrock. For some reason, I don't know why. We used a lot more strings when we did the shamrock. It changed colors more often. All right, so let's see. We got to be 22, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. We do have 22. Now we're going to work these off. So we're going to work off one loop, and then we're going to work off 2 loops. Alright, so now we're going to work off 2 greens, dark greens, and then back to the light green and work the rest of the way. And there it is. Another row done. Now it looks like that we've got our stem pretty much done. And our next row now is going to be a little bit more changing. So we, let's see, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 light greens. So let's pick up 7. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 light greens. And now I need 2 dark greens. So I'm going to bring this dark green over here, and I'm going to pick up 2 dark greens. And then we need 1 light green, which I'm going to pick up using this light green from this side. Okay, the light green from this side I'm using. Now we're going back to the dark green. I'm going to put that light green back over there. And we need 1 dark green, which will be right here. 1 dark green. And then from this side, I'm going to pick up a light green. So we need 1 light green right here. And then we'll put that down. Now we need 2 dark greens. So we're going to pick up 2 dark greens. And then the same light green is coming over the dark green on the back. And we are going to pick up the rest of the light greens all the way across. And then your last one. Now let's make sure we have 22. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. Yes. Now we're going to start working off 1. And now we're going to work off 2 until we get to the dark greens. Then we got to change color. And now we're going to change color and work off dark greens, 2 of those. So there's 2 and 2. Now we're going back to this one because remember we used this side one for this side of the light green. That way we're not switching. And back to the dark green, we only need 1 of those. And now we need this light green over here. 1 of them, and then back to the dark green, so we get 2 of them, and then bring this light green back over here, and just work it off. Work off the rest of them. all the way across. And there we go. Now we're starting with the we're starting a little bit with the 4-leaf clover. And there's that. Okay, so our next row, these next few rows get so much easier. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to need 7 light green and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dark green and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 light green. So 7, 7, and 6. So let's pick up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we need the dark green, and we're going to pick up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we're back to the light green, and we're going to pick up 6. We should have 6 left. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we've got 6, but then we still got to get this last one underneath those 2 loops at the end, because the end ones don't count when we're doing the colors. They only count when we're counting to make sure we have enough on our hook, which is 22. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. So we have 22, and now we're going to work these off. So we're going to go through 1 loop, and now we're going to go through 2 loops until we get to the dark green. And then remember, once we get to the dark green, we have to change our color. So here's the dark green. Now we're going to go through all the green ones by going through 2 each, 2 loops each, to get through all the green ones. And then on this side, we're going to throw the dark green down and get the light green and keep going. All right. There it is. All right, that row's done. And now we've got to do the exact same thing for the next... No, we don't. Never mind. All right, so our next row is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have 5 light green and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dark green and 4 light green. So it's 5, 11, and 4. So let's pick up 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's time for the dark green, and we need 11 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. And now we're back to the light green again. And there should be 4 at the end here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have to pick up this last one here at the end. All right, so we should have 22, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. Now we're going to go through one loop, and now we're going to go through 2 loops until we get back to the dark green again. Then we got to switch colors. And now it's time to switch colors and go through 2 loops there on the green. And then starting with the light green again. All right. So, and then once you get all the way across there, all you got to do is pull these, don't pull them hard, just pull them kind of taut, pull them together like that. And there is that. Now this next row is the exact same. So we are pulling up the light green, which is 5 light greens, and 11 dark greens.